Hey everybody, my name is Devin Listrom, and this is my second video that I am presenting to you on my YouTube channel on my business called Healing Spirit KC. Now in the first video, I presented the business in general, just what I'll be offering. This video, I'm going to start breaking it down and talking about the different aspects in further detail. Now I do what's called a spirit channeled reading, which means spirit channeling. Now, I realized I was able to communicate with spirits when I was about 5 or 6 years old. And it was unnerving at the time, a little bit scary for a kid, doesn't know what's going on. But as I got older, I had elders and teachers who were able to work with me on my abilities, learning about meditation, grounding, centering, and how to protect yourself from unwanted energies. Now, from that, the more I relaxed, and the more I just went with the flow, I found that it helped people. And that made me very excited. And I thought I could offer this to the world. But I didn't realize I had abilities until I was about, in my 30s or 40s. And I thought, I can make this into a career helping people. And so I'm excited to bring this forward to you. And now what I do is call this a channeled reading, spirit channeling. And in that, it's when I call upon your spirit guides, not mine, but your spirit guides. I invite them into the reading. They either sit in my body or they at least come into the room. And in that, I'm able to communicate with them. All other energies that are not meant to be in the reading will fall away because I'll tell them to leave the room, leave the space. If it's something that's uncomfortable, I tell it to leave the space. We don't need it there in the reading. It's not meant to, and it's not meant to be there. Only the positive and only the positive energies are meant to be in the reading. What feels right. And I've gotten all kinds of different kinds of readings going on with different kinds of spirit guides that have come in. Sometimes I'll get things like, deities, like a god or a goddess. Sometimes angels, fairies, things like that. I've gotten all kinds of different figures that have shown up in my readings that are guides for people. And from that, they come into the reading, they come into my body, and they start bringing forward messages. And these are messages for you from your guides. This is all for you. And what I like to do sometimes, even before the reading even starts, is to do a short consultation with the client before I start the reading to make sure that I know what they want to get out of the reading. And then I can kind of strive for that information. Now, also with these psychic readings, channeled readings, I'm able to go into a really deep trance. And sometimes I'm not always aware of what's going on around me. I try not to zen out too much, too far. I want to have at least somewhat control over the situation. So I can have some kind of awareness of what's going on around me, but I'm still in that zone with the spirit, with the spirit that's come through to bring forward messages. Now, a lot of people will ask things about like love, relationships, money, career, their health, things like that, which are very, very common. They might want to ask about relatives who've passed away, someone who might be ill in their family, things like that. Those are very, very, very common questions. So when you do come to a reading with me, try to have a list of your questions. Try to be very clear about those questions. We can get right down to the specifics of the questions. And that's real important to do as well. So remember, these are your spirit guides, not mine. So that there is what's all coming through. Also, during a reading, I will get different feelings, emotions from these spirits. Sometimes I'll get like a scene of something that's happening that they want me to describe to the client, or a picture, or like a movie that's playing. They want me to. They're trying to show me a movie of something that's happening with this person in a scene. And that's also bringing forward information as well. Now sometimes I might get information that may not always be the best information, because sometimes the truth can be quite intense to take, the truth. But I think it's better to know the truth than to tell someone something that's, not quite the truth from that point forward. The truth can be intense. And so I like to bring that forward too. It's good to know the truth. It's important to know the truth from your readings so you can get the most out of that reading, which I think is very, very important. And also, what I also offer in my readings is what's called pendulum readings. And I'll do a demonstration of that in another video after this one. So look for that one coming up soon. Pendulum is basically an object that I use to do readings with. And it's like a little crystal that's pointed downward, hanging from an object. And it can go forwards, backwards. It can go clockwise, counterclockwise. That brings forward more straightforward questions, especially like yes and no questions. So I'll do another video on that too, coming up here very, 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 very soon. Now, when I close a reading from this point forward, I ask the client, is there anything else you want to know? Is there anything else important you need to find out? And at that point, either they say yes or they say no, and then I start to close the reading. And that's when I begin to thank the spirits for coming in. I tell them they can go back where they came from. But also, I describe this guide to the person, and I give them the name of this guide that has come through. And you can continue to work with them after the reading. Even when you go home after the reading, you can still work with this guide of yours. And sometimes I even get relatives of dead people. Someone's relative might come in who's been deceased for a while, might have a message or some sort of important information, unfinished business they might want to bring forward. That can come through too sometimes. So it's also good to take notes during readings. Take notes, write down any information so you don't forget what's being said. So with that said, you can check me out on my website again, devinlistrom.com. DevinListrom.com, or you can email me at healingspirit1@kc.rr.com or healing.spirit@gmail.com, and just message me. And you can also set a time with me in person and online. We can use things like Facebook video. We can use things like Google Meet, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever we decide to use for that type of appointment to be done online. And I hope to hear from you all soon. Do check out my website, devinlistrom.com, and I hope to see you soon. Blessed be.